I'm Dr. Meg. This is Dr. Carroll from Chiropractic Family Wellness Center at Oasis, Maine. We are here today to talk to you about what we do. As chiropractors, the main thing we focus on in your spine is finding and correcting vertebral subluxations. First, we're going to define what the heck those are, and then we're going to talk about where they come from and how they get to be part of our physiology.
Subluxation was defined and put into research in 1895 by Daniel David Palmer. So if you break up that word into its syllables, sub means less, lux is energy, and ation is in the body. So it is literally a structural change in the function of your structure that houses your brain and its cord, the brain stem, and all the spinal cord all the way down, the 24 movable bones in your spine. So the subluxations actually happen within the spinal cord and within that system, and they interrupt and interfere any feedback loop between your brain and your body. Any communication that your body is having with your brain is interrupted by a subluxation. The nervous system is very delicate, as you probably know, we've talked about it, but it is actually the consistency, the spinal nerves of almost like, kind of yucky, but chicken fat. So it's very fatty. It has a covering called myelin. That's why you should eat good and nutritious fats to support your nerve system. But it is very delicate, and it's housed within something called meninges, and those are strong, but they're just as delicate in some ways. So there literally is a pressure on the system, an irritant pressure, when the structure is misaligned, not moving well, or irritated by a posture or a lack of breath or an irritant in chemistry. Subluxations happen very easily with trauma, chemical, physical, or emotional trauma that's happened to the system that you have not integrated well. It can be a shock to the system or just something that over time has become an irritant to you and you have not adapted to. So chemical subluxations, physical, and also emotional subluxations can happen. And all of those can cause the need to see a chiropractor and get that cleared so that the feedback loops between your brain and your body can be at peak performance.
The subluxation acts as like if you think of a dimmer switch, where you're turning the light down very, very gradually over time. The subluxation in your spine is acting as a dimmer switch, and it's turning function down very slowly over time as the spine is not moving through its range of motion, it's not aligned the way that it should be, and it's creating pressure and tension on those really delicate nerves that Dr. Carroll talked about. We don't notice the change as much when we're subluxated because the change, we're losing function so very gradually over years sometimes. And then it can take something as simple as, picking up a magazine and all of a sudden you can't even straighten up or walk or move. And it wasn't the weight of the magazine, it was the fact that the subluxation has been wearing on the body over time, and the muscles and holding elements of the spine have just gotten weaker and more out of balance and less functioning. So that stress becomes too much for the body, and it overwhelms it and puts it in a state of shock, essentially. That's the most important thing about the subluxation is it's a habit that the spine has developed over time, and function is diminishing. And it's not just changing the function of the muscles and holding elements, it's changing the function of wherever those nerves are leading to from that part of the spine. So it's diminishing potentially liver function or lung function or heart function, whatever organs are connected there. It is a pattern of stress that we hold in our body that we get accommodated to until we have the opportunity to get our spines examined and understand where the subluxations are, and then go through a process of care so that we can recover and get to a much healthier place. One thing about the subluxations that I find fascinating is that people get so accommodated to them that they're just used to it. And it's very similar to an experience my daughter had when she was 20, and my husband noticed that she couldn't read something across the room. And he said, "You should really get your eyes checked." And she did, and she needed a prescription. And she had no idea. But when she got the first time she put her glasses on, she texted me, it was all capital letters, "Oh my God, I was blind." She had no idea how much she wasn't seeing, because her body had accommodated over years. And the subluxation acts the same way in terms of function on our bodies. Make sure that you're at peak performance and peak function, and get to your chiropractor and get adjusted. Thanks for watching.